Hey, my name's Garrett Riley, new OC here at TCU. Came over from SMU last couple of years with Coach Dykes. Today, going to talk about two things. Going to hit an intermediate pass concept, something we've done for a number of years, but it's been a good deal for us at our time at SMU. And then if we have time at the end, going to touch base on a screen drill that really I came accustomed with in my time at App State. Spent a year out there and thought it was really good, carried it over to us at SMU and think it'll be worthwhile. So with that, we'll get going. This concept for us was something we felt like we could call at any time. First, second down, open field stuff. It's been a really good third down call for us the last several years. It's really been something that's been all purpose, which is why we've poured a lot into it, okay? All purpose in terms of when you can call it, all purpose because of the coverages you're going to see, and then all purpose too from a blitz or a non-blitz look. So what we're going to have here, this first one is we're going to motion here. We're going to make it a fib formation. We're going to get trips into the boundary. And what you're going to get here, I'll kind of highlight what routes you got going on, and then we'll dive into it. So the first read here is actually going to be a win or a fade down here at the bottom to our single receiver. He's truly going to be a vertical. He's the first read. He's a yes-no, as we term it. So what that's saying is for the quarterback, a pre-snap decision, yes or no. Do I like it? Can I throw the fade? Yes. If not, then I'm moving on quickly to the second read. So what you're going to have here is the second read is really our back is going to be on a swing, as we call it, just a free release swing to the field. The biggest key for him to the field is he's going to have to gain a lot of width. And this is it's kind of an awkward route for those tailbacks to run this to the field, but they've got to continue to stretch and get width, as we'll show here in just a second. Number 3 is our tight end right here, kind of in that wing position. He's actually going to plus stem this. Okay, we're going to have him plus his stem for 2, square back up vertically for 10 to 12, and run just a dig, okay, just a basic, an end cut at that 10 to 12 yard range. Number 2 is going to come off of that little natural rub and end up on a shallow, never stopping. He will always continue to run at full speed. There's no read for him. And then the final read for the quarterback, number 1 here into the boundary, is going to be on a curl, okay? Generally, this was going to be a 13 to 15 yard curl. It's a straight stem. It's not a post curl or anything like that. Straight stem curl at 13 to 15, okay? Now, the reason we like this from a quarterback standpoint is this play really never changes. It's going to be a left to right play. It's kind of in the progression family for us, okay? So if I'm the quarterback right here, again, he's thinking, I got a yes-no fade here to the field. We're getting man coverage. We're getting a safety, a middle field safety, all right, with no help. We like our matchup down here. He's going to take a quick drop. He's taking a quick 3. Back foot's in the ground. He's already unloading this ball right now, okay? Right now, really about 8 yards into the route, this ball's already getting triggered, all right? It's a really good job by the quarterback at the time, getting rid of this thing on time with good air. And we make a nice play, all right, down the field here, okay? Had this been a no, okay, had this been a no, he would go to the tailback here, all right, as a second read. So it would go 1, 2, 3 on the shallow would be his third read. Fourth read would be the dig or the end cut that should occur at that 10 to 12 yard range. And then the final read would be that 13 to 15 yard curl. Okay, so obviously here's a good example of, again, the man coverage, throwing it on time, throwing the first read, throwing the yes-no, getting a big play on this was a third down, all right, showing pressure, playing man. You got quick game options here, but again, if it's not there, he's got something that he can progress through and just move on down the road with. Okay, so we got a couple of fib formation in the boundaries here. So again, really the same exact play. We're putting the trips into the boundary. We've got the field fade up top once again. So we got our yes-no here with the X receiver. Second read would be the tailback. We've got the dig, shallow, curl. Okay, so same deal here. What he's looking at right now is, once again, it looks like man-to-man out here, out wide to our fade. There's really no safety help at this point from a pre-snap standpoint. There's really not much safety help. He definitely could be thinking about throwing the fade right here. Okay, he does not. We don't win. We don't love the release. He moves on. He knows quickly here with kind of this alley defender to the field. He knows the back's going to get taken away very quickly. And so the quarterback now moves on to the dig and the shallow portion of it. And we'll see kind of with the switch release here, this tends to happen, okay? They get caught in man-to-man. One guy passes off, one guy does not. And he ends up really getting to ultimately his third read here at that 10 to 12 yard range. And we get a nice rip here versus man coverage. Okay, so one more time. Again, love the way that the quarterback just eliminates some things pre-snap. I mean, you can see him. We'll see his eyes here. I'll go to the tight view here in just a second. But you can see how he doesn't peek at this very long. Okay, he's already basically made up his mind. He doesn't like this. He knows, again, with the alley defender to the field that the back is going to be eliminated. And so he's able to get his eyes over here pretty quickly and naturally to get this thing thrown on time. Really a nice job. Once again, a very high percentage play, high percentage throw and catch. Okay, so we can kind of see just his helmet. You can kind of get a feel for where his eyes are and how quickly that he's really getting back to this portion of the route concept, throwing this thing on time, really just right out of the break, waiting on that dig. Really nice job. All right, we'll keep moving here. Okay, another example now, we have our tight end on the ball. Those other ones, he was kind of in that H-back, that off position. We're going to get the same play once again. So now, a little bit of a different look. We have a lifted corner, all right? We still have a safety in the middle of the field. So right now, if I'm the quarterback, good chance that I'm going to eliminate the yes-no fade. Right now, I don't like it. I'm just going to take what they give us here a little bit more and just progress through this thing. So in his mind right now, he's not really thinking about the fade. He should be checking the tailback right now. There's some space out here. There's grass, all right? So he definitely needs to start with him. Right now, he could throw this. And in my opinion, when we went back and watched this, I would tell him that he probably does. As long as this corner lifts and he really sinks with our fade, really we should be throwing this to the tailback. All right, and there's several reasons why. You know, number one, the tailback generally is going to be the best athlete on the field. Okay, those guys can run, and pound for pound, they're going to be the strongest guys on the field. Okay, and we have 2/3 of the field to work with right here. If we throw it to our tailback at this point and give it to him on time, he's got a ton of space to really put this guy in a bind and put him in a spatial predicament. All right, he's going to have to make a great tackle in the open field on one of the best athletes on the field. That's not a good matchup for the defense, in our opinion. So we would love this. Would be a great example where he should throw this. Okay, he does not. So now he moves on. Next read is going to be that shallow coming underneath. Here they are again, passing things off into more of a zone principle here. They pass it off to the inside backer. We end up gaining a step on him. He's able to throw it in front of him, still get a nice rip here in the open field on a second and long call. Okay, so some good things to highlight. Again, loose coverage. If the corner sinks, would love for him to throw this without any flat defender here to the field. Would love for him to put it on the tailback right now, but it's a good job of not panicking, moving on through your reads, and still gaining a completion here on the shallow. Really, really well done. All right, same game. All right, same game, same exact play call here. We just have it now to the right side. So same deal here. Now, you know, with the fade opportunity, what we would tell him is definitely be thinking about it. Now, the corner's kind of cheated more outside leverage because of the formation. So if he does not love the fade, once again, checking the back. It's a no on the tailback right now in man-to-man. Linebackers running with him. There's not great leverage. So here's what we would say on this is they end up passing this off. What you would love is obviously for the shallow just to run through the catch a little bit more. All right, he kind of almost turns this thing up too fast and allows this defender really to kind of make the shoestring tackle. But all in all, still a routine play in our mind. Again, what's awesome about this from a quarterback standpoint is all the time this is truly going to be a left to right read if we call it that direction. It's just a nice flow. It's always a very rhythmic play for the quarterback, which is, in my opinion, why I think it has a very high success rate. Okay, you can practice it a lot and it stays the same. Okay, so, it's been one of our better plays, and so kind of our philosophy with the passing game is you're going to take what you feel like you're good at, and then you tag off of it. Okay, you kind of build off of what you're already good at, as opposed to just adding completely new concepts all the time. All right, that's our belief. That's what we've done a long time in this system. So what we've done, a part of Coach Dyke's history here, is add on to what you're already good at. So all we did here, it's really the same concept, except now we're going to change kind of the front side of it. Okay, so instead of kind of having the fade and that free release swing route, now we're going to change it to where we had this guy on a post. Okay, so it was really more of what's going to occur here is kind of a post wheel on the front side of it. Okay, so we eliminated the fade, changed this to a post, changed this to a true wheel, all right, and then the backside was the exact same. You're still going to have that +2 stem running the 10 to 12 yard dig, shallow, and then you're going to have the 13 to 15 yard curl as your final read. All right, so right here for the quarterback, this is going to be a right to left read. Okay, it's going to be a free flow. It's going to be a progression. So right now, in his mind, with this front side tag that we had versus Houston, okay, is first thing he's going to check out, it's really kind of a yes-no also, is if he gets hard rotation down by the weak safety here, all right, then this post, if it comes open, then he could throw it. That would be the first read. If the safety stays on the hash and he stays high, he knows he's eliminating the post right now, and the second read would be the wheel coming out of the backfield. Okay? The other thing this does, or what we thought it would create, is even if this was man, we really felt like it could create a little bit of a rub route or a natural pick if he inside releases this post for the wheel. Okay? Thought it would really kind of provide a rub route to make this will linebacker, who in man-to-man would have the tailback, good chance it could kind of pick him off or slow him down by half a step. Okay? Right here, they really just end up blowing a coverage. All right, so we end up kind of just getting a free one. You can see the nature of the play, though. Wanted him versus a press look to inside release and just speed release this inside. Second read for the quarterback. It was just kind of so open. I felt like he just kind of hesitated on it just a little bit too much. Was kind of almost freaked out that it was this open. And we ended up getting a big one here. Kind of really got us back in the game at this point. But again, in the quick game family for us, but more of that intermediate as we distinguish some of our quick games. This is in the quick game family at the end of the day, but it's more of that intermediate where we can scan and we can progress through it once again, so the reads stay the same for the quarterback. So a little bit of a blown coverage, but a nice tag there. That gave us something, obviously gave us an explosive play. We come back to it, same deal. We're going to have a post by the outside receiver here into the boundary. He's going to have that inside release post. Still going to have the wheel. Number 3 is going to have the +2 stem, dig, shallow, curl. All right, so we end up getting a cap blitz here. All right, so we get corner blitz, do a nice job of really feeling this and moving on. So right here at this point, we're free releasing. We were not able to pick up the cat right here. So they still keep a high safety. So right now for the post, we're saying this is dead. Okay, especially with pressure, we can't sit there and wait forever to throw a post right here. So in the quarterback's mind right now, I'm eliminating the post. It's done. So now I go to the back. Well, they do a better job now of taking the will linebacker and running with him. They don't peel with the cat. They had him man-to-man with him. And so what that now creates is a big void or a big hole for the shallow that's coming to him. So a no on number 1, okay, as far as the read. It's a no. Second read, number 2, no. So now get my eyes to number 3 right now, and you can see this is all happening very quickly because we've repped this concept over and over again, and the best thing about it is, once again, it doesn't change for the quarterback. So You can see how he gets his eyes here in a timely fashion, feels it, understands he's going to get hit, but just knows and feels the void in the defense where we can drop it down to the shallow and get a really nice play here on a very, very high percentage play, pass. Very high percentage pass. So we'll just see it here. You know, once again, as far as footwork in the quarterback, most of the time you're going to be able to take a quick three with this. There are times if you really can kind of get a gauge on if you sense you're going to have a good chance to throw your tailback, you may just take one just to have your feet set so you can get it out on the tailback right now. But right here, really just taking a quick three. Once again, really good job with his eyes, just knowing I got to get back to the shallow right now. Great job of just standing in there, knowing you're going to get hit, just making a play. Okay, so now we're going to get some pressure looks, all right? So we got the cat a second ago. Now we're getting internal pressure, looking really just like cover one, like man. So here we are running it into the boundary. So this is going to be a left to right read for the quarterback. I believe this was the same tag. Yeah. All right, so once again, we're going to have the post. We're going to have the wheel by the back. All right, so now we're just in true trips. We're not in an attached tight end position or anything. So nothing changes. Even if we're displaced like this or flex our tight end out, still going to +2 stem, dig, shallow, curl. True left to right read. So right now, versus man-to-man, with the safety rotating now to the field, all right, if he had time, this would be a look where he could throw the post, right? But because it's pressure, because they're bringing heat, he knows he's not going to be able to stand in there and wait on a post. They obviously peel with the tailback right here very quickly, and he does a great job of getting to the shallow once again. The shallow with this play really ends up kind of being your hot. So that's kind of what I touched on earlier. We just felt like this was an all-purpose play. Here they are bringing obvious heat up the middle, internal pressure. We do a poor job of picking up one of these guys. We should have one of them blocked. But once again, good job drifting, knowing where that hot is, essentially hitting his guy on the move here on a high percentage throw and catch. Really well done, you know, kind of just in the mix of a little bit of chaos there, you know, as the ball was snapped. So we'll see it from here. Kind of this double A gap pressure. We should have squeezed down on 15 and 52. Number one should be free, but he feels it, does a great job of drifting, kind of getting big, really kind of almost how you throw a screen, getting it to the shallow. All right, so really the same deal here. The only difference is I believe this was truly going to be a zero pressure. So you got no safeties deep, okay? Could we check out of this and get to something a little bit cleaner, something that may give them a little bit better option versus heat? Absolutely, okay? You absolutely could do that, but you're already in a good play, a play that we're confident in, a play that never changes, something we believe in, and so we didn't have to. That's the good part about it. So this is going to be the exact same play into the boundary, all right, with the post and wheel tag. Same thing, getting heat, getting zero pressure. He can pretty much eliminate the post. He's not going to stand in there and throw that. He's not throwing the wheel. They're going to peel out with the back right now. His only shot here, without checking, without altering anybody's route, just running the play as is, his only chance in this case is going to be the shallow, all right? So it's really the same picture as earlier. He's going to have to drift. He's going to have to know who the free guy is going to be up front. I really wish he'd drift right just a little bit more with how we slid this up front. But once again, this is all you have. It's a good job with people in your face, just getting a routine play, putting this thing in play versus zero pressure. Let's kind of take a look at these routes a little bit more. And so you can kind of see what the natural, rub, how it occurs in this case. I mean, you got two defenders on the same level, essentially, which really helps this deal. Okay, and so again, if with him plussing his stem, it should really get these guys to end up being pretty close, should make the switch harder if they are going to switch it off. Now we can see how they're overlapping over the top, and that's creating this space for the shallow, okay? Again, this has got to be really a 2-yard route. So line of scrimmage here on the 29, it looks like. really should be about a 2-yard shallow drag. Again, the coaching on it is just haul, all right? Haul butt, do not stop. There's no read, no nothing. You're going to stay on the move at all times. All right, so good example there, almost kind of versus worst case scenario of still getting a 0 blitz and still, having some tape here of putting it in play. So once again, I mean, just as far as 0 pressure, with how we slid this, quarterback's definitely going to be in tune in a 0 look of how we're sliding. We're obviously sliding to the offense's right side here. He should know right now that this is going to be the free side. The only thing I would tell the quarterback here is just from the get-go, he needs to kind of drift to be in the soft spot of the pocket, staying away from that free side. That's the main thing he needs to know. He needs to do a little bit better job here on top of just drifting backwards and buying some time. Okay, a little bit of a different tag here. So we've got the trips formation here to the field. Okay, we've got the nub tight end, all right, into the boundary. So with the tight end stuff, a very simple tag, kind of an all-purpose tag as well, is now putting him on the corner, leaving our tailback now in an arrow, okay? Excuse me. So now you kind of create this smash concept on the front side of it. So this is still going to be a left to right read. Quarterback's still going to progress through this just like he has all the other ones. Nothing changes that way, but all we've done is just kind of change up that front side tag. So once again, you're going to have an 8-step corner here by the tight end. We're going to have a free release arrow route by our tailback here into the boundary. And then with the trip side, once again, nothing changes. You're going to have the dig, you're going to have the shallow, you're going to have the curl. Okay, so we're getting a too high look here initially. Safeties look like they're off levels a little bit. Could be getting rotation here based on the way it looks, which is what we get. We end up getting rotation, middle field safety. He's kind of coming down in no man's land a little bit. And so now, really where this ball should be right now is on the flat. Okay, we should put this on the tailback right now. With the flat defender sinking underneath the corner route, this ball ought to be on the tailback right now. In the past, what we've kind of called these high-low or these smash reads is really kind of an A-B read. Okay, A meaning high, B meaning low. Something we've termed that's just kind of simple in general for our quarterbacks throughout the years of just a high-low principle. Find the flat defender and read it off of him. A-B read. Okay. So once again, he sinks. This thing really should be on the tailback way sooner to allow him to really get some yards after the catch. Okay, some things here with a zone look on the trail side, all right, or on this, on the level side, is for the dig. There is some coaching, there is some liberty, there is some freedom for this route. A lot of these other examples we've seen versus a man look, this is kind of one of the first true zone ones we've seen. And so the coaching for him is this, is he's got to get 10 to 12, all right? And once he really breaks it inside, once he actually starts his route, he does have the liberty to throttle or shut it down in a zone look, okay? So if this ball, had he progressed on through this play, had he stepped up and moved on through his reads and said no on the shallow and got to this dig, this would be a case where he could potentially throttle once he gets in here, all right? It's not a hard set rule. It's one of those things that's more of a feel thing. Anytime you allow guys to throttle and find space and find grass, a lot of that is just reps. It's hard to just put a ton of parameters on it. They're all going to be a little bit different. So I think there's the coaching for us is have 1 or 2 parameters and then rep it over and over again and see and show your guys, when to do it, when not to do it. Okay, and so this would be a time, like I said, had he progressed through this, maybe, all right, but just so we can kind of talk through that, there is some liberty with him doing that. Now, if he were to shut it down any sooner, that would be a no-no, okay? He could not shut it down or throttle right at the top of his route. The reason why is now that could cover up this curl that's going to be the final read. Now you would have bad spacing, that's bad business. So, touching on that, just wanted to kind of point out that there is some coaching there for that for sure, from a space, really more of a space standpoint. Okay, and let me remember what this one is. All right, so yeah, this is kind of going back to really, this is going to show an example of us getting to our final read. So a couple things here. So generally, just like the ones we've seen previously, we're going to have it into the boundary now. So generally, this is a free release play for our tailback. It's a 5-man protection. Right here, this was the same one. We were running post, wheel, dig, drag, curl. Okay? Because these guys were bringing all the pressure in this particular game, they were bringing a lot of heat pretty much every time we called it. The quarterback now just told the tailback to stay in. He knew he wasn't going to throw it to the tailback. He wanted to make it a 6-man protection, so he told the back to stay in. So that's why you're going to see the tailback stay in here. And so by doing that, now, once again, his hot versus pressure is going to be that shallow. So he knew he wanted to protect himself a little more. They end up having a hole player in the middle of the field, so now the shallow's a no. Progress through to the dig. Okay, dig's getting clamped down pretty good. You still kind of have some hole players in the middle of the field, so he feels this. We end up protecting this very nicely, stepping over to his left, kind of resetting and getting to that last read, getting to the curl. All right, don't get this a lot. There are times in certain coverages when you play a 2-high team, a quarters team, we do and we have played around with tagging him on a post just to alert him from the get-go. But without doing anything, this would be the base rule, and just wanted to show an example that you do at times, you will get to that final read for sure. Okay, so pretty good job of our guy inside releasing here. You know, touch short on the depth, but not bad, but I really do like at the top of the route or kind of after the top of the route of almost just kind of feeling that defender inside and giving a location to the quarterback away from the nearest defender. So one more time, kept the back in. Basically eliminated the post right now just because of press and just because there is a safety on the backside hash. Just don't like the space for it. We have a hole player, so it eliminates the shallow, basically eliminates the dig. Got to get all the way back out to the curl as the final read. So pretty good job there. You know, again, just kind of an all-encompassing play. Strengths of it, you got a natural man beater. You've got some fade opportunities from a yes-no perspective, no matter if it's in the boundary or if it's fibbed and the fade is to the field. All-purpose in terms of coverage. And again, probably the best part about it is just the free flow of the quarterback in his eyes. All right, being able to progress through it, just kind of being a comfort zone for the quarterback is why we feel we've been successful with this play. All right, the second thing, you know, that we believe in, that we feel like we've gotten some mileage out of in the last couple of years is really how we practice screens. There's a million ways to do it, just like anything in football, how we've done it. And, you know, what I learned this actually from App State. We did it under Drinkwitz for a year. You know, and I thought it was really good. And so we brought it over to SMU. These are some very early clips of us doing this. And really what we tried to accomplish here, and I'll show you, is in the screen drill, a couple things happen at the college level, is you try and get your scout team over there, and repping screens kind of at a fast pace is difficult with scouts. You know, usually they're not going to go full speed. They're not going to be really where you want them to be on a high rep type of period. It's just tough. Okay, and so what a lot of people do is, we're just going to put coaches out there then. Well, the bad part about that is, yeah, your coaches might be able to be in the right location and show them the correct looks and all of that. The bad news is, at the point of contact, if I'm a guy coming to block a coach, what's the player going to do? He's not going to hit the coach, right? He's going to pull up, and you're going to create bad habits for screens. So one thing we did to help kind of remedy that in our mind was have our coaches out there with the big kind of physio balls, all right, that are easy to roll, that are light, and kind of let that be the defender, all right? And here's kind of what we felt like it did for us. So here's an example of a really just kind of a quick screen, almost like a tunnel screen type deal. Okay, and so we have to figure out some of these things and some of the kinks early. Like I said, this is early tape, but you'll see we got coaches here, and really the best The best thing about this was we felt like very, very good and productive for the offensive line. All right, and here's the reason why, is again, you give them something that they have to hit a moving target. It allows them to really kind of feel the space and what their rule is in terms of whatever screen you're throwing. And at the point of contact, I think what it creates is a good habit, okay? And what we're going to see here is kind of two different ones. With our tackle right here, what I would tell him is he needs to run through the ball more, okay? And we'll see this with the guard. The guard does a little bit better job. When you roll the ball, what you can tell your offensive line is once I get to it, I've got to be in an athletic position, number one, to pick it up. If I'm a 6'6", 6'5" guy, I'm going to have to be in a low athletic position to even pick this ball up. And so what we really would want him to do and really emphasize and exaggerate in a drill is really explode and pick up the ball once he goes through it. So that's something that's definitely getting coached up at this point off of this tape and something that would make this drill better. But we are kind of creating, again, hitting the correct landmark of where we need to be depending on whatever screen you're throwing. But the point of emphasis, again, the guard does a little bit better job running through it, but I think they both need to just explode through the ball to just create some power, athleticism at the point of contact. So we got two kind of O-line coaches here. We got a GA O-line coach knowing where to roll the ball. That's the biggest thing, just kind of really getting this drill organized of who's rolling it where is the biggest thing as far as coaches and organization. Right here, again, kind of a tunnel screen, outside receiver. Same deal. We're showing them location. These guys are able to hit this at full speed. It's just a little bit more efficient than getting scouts lined up and that whole deal. And these guys, the best part about it for the O-lineman, once again, is just being able to keep your speed through the point of contact. Show them angles, show them the locations. Obviously, you get the timing of the play of knowing when to deploy. And again, just the effect that you're going to get through the point of contact. You'll see it from the tight view right here. So not a bad job. The one thing I would tell our right tackle here is he keeps his speed through the ball, but same deal. We just need to emphasize more. 79, the guard does a little bit better job of just getting lower and truly exploding through the ball as he picks it up. Okay, really the same exact screen, just different people doing it. So pretty nice job here by the right tackle. Guard, same thing. It's once again just giving you guys a different example here of the practice cut. All right, here's a slow screen. All right, so now we got a slow screen here to the tailback, going back into the boundary. Down here at the bottom, we just kind of had a different tag, so really you're just going to be looking up here into the boundary. So same deal here. We've got what we're trying to simulate here is a corner. Okay, so once a corner comes off in zone, we ended up cracking the first thing in the box. He's really just blocking the guy in the box. Once the corner now folds outside, there's the location there for the left tackle. So same thing, no matter if it was those tunnel screens, slow screens, anything that truly involved the offensive line, we would really emphasize that with the balls and felt like that was an efficient way for us to practice it, okay? All right, so now some game tape of it just to kind of show, of what we do, all right, what we practice. Here we are holding off. We end up getting a little bit of a difficult look here for our inside receiver. His job was to take the first thing from the sideline here as long. Really it ends up being a most dangerous deal, the way they invert the leverage. So it's a good decision by him. We're a little outnumbered. But with the line, all right, the timing, running through guys, just being in the right location. We had some rat kill involved here with our guy turning back, ready for pass rushers redirecting. So here it is, just the same clip you saw from the practice cuts. Okay, it's going to be kind of that tunnel screen once again. We get these guys to pass rush a little bit right here and get some seams. But what we loved and what we thought was effective was our O-line's running. Okay, they're getting out, they're confident, they're not really tiptoeing around like you tend to get with offensive line at times on screens where it just gets a little bit muddy for those guys, is we really thought that drill just promoted them and gave them confidence just to really run through those guys, be big. If they got to run around you, so what? Be big, run with speed, your location, your assignment, and we'll go from there. That's what we're getting here. This is a good job. This is a really, really good job. You know, these guys are playing, you know, the whole kind of robber package here that you see a lot in college football now, and so there's just kind of people everywhere. But even in the midst of that, really, really good example, efficient and effective play here with our bigs getting out in space. Really thought this was a good example. Okay, I believe this was a slow screen. I believe this is the slow screen clip. Yeah. All right. So we actually catch them in zero here. This was a third down deal a couple years ago. We've got a slow screen here to the tailback, so I believe we're going to be cracking the first thing in the box. Should have been. Yep. Okay. So there you go. Same deal, just off the timing. Really went off of a 2 count on the slow screen. We were swinging the bag just to easily get him out there so he doesn't get caught up in the trash. And same deal, all right? I mean, obviously we were fortunate to be in a good call here. You know, kind of caught him at the right time. Once again, even in this look, we just got linemen running, which you like. I mean, I know there's not a whole lot of people out there, but just the nature of the play, the nature of them getting out on time, the nature of them running and being to their landmark, thought was really good. Now we end up doing a poor job here at the end, finishing the run, but really a nice job, we felt like, with our perimeter guys and our offensive line. All right, last couple ones. So, you know, got some mileage out of this this year. Seen a lot of guys, you know, kind of go to this the last couple of years is, you know, kind of this tunnel screen off of some of the counter stuff, all right, and really felt like it got our center out on time. So I'll show this and kind of go back and forth a little bit. But again, from the drill, I think this does show our center just getting out with speed. I mean, he knows he has to. Once again, I think that drill kind of promotes that and just trains those guys to have confidence in getting out in space. So here it is off the kind of tunnel. So for us, this is a 3 up, 2 back footwork. So you should go up for 3, back for 2, and catch this a little more stationary if he can, okay? If this defender, if this corner is going to stay pressed, then he can catch it more on a tunnel action and path to help his kick out block, okay? To help set that up, he could catch this on the move versus kind of a press man look. If we feel like we can get him to lift it all, that corner, which he does here, he's going to be more of that 3-2 footwork, 3 up, 2 back, catching it more stationary. That way it's more, you know, just more effective and more consistent from a throw catch standpoint. You know, tunnel screens are hard, all right? There's not many guys that can do it from a receiver standpoint. Yeah, they can catch it, but who's going to be fearless? Who's going to be consistent catching true tunnel screens? You know, it's hard to do, and you're just not going to have that many guys that can do it. This footwork was something we felt like we could mass produce with the number of receivers that we play with. I mean, we play with 8 receivers every game. We got a lot of guys rolling in and out, so we got to do things that all those guys can do. So this is just one way that how we coached it, the footwork of it, the technique of it. Once again, really a nice job just getting back to the center O-line, getting out. Had the center getting out for number 2. Had our backside guard end up being the rat kill. Really nice job just getting back vertical. The footwork of the play for the receiver allows him to get vertical right now. Okay, really nice job by the kick out block as well. And got one more example of this. Yeah, really the same screen here. Just running it off of the counter. Catch him in a little bit of a pressure look, which is obviously pretty good. We're going to end up kicking out the corner here, all right, with our slot receiver. His job is he just needs to buy time as much as he can. Skippy, you know, change your tempo, buy time off the line of scrimmage to hold that flat defender essentially, okay? So he does a good job of just buying enough time. He still does it at a point where he can still have great leverage to essentially kick him out. Obviously, with the pressure here, it's a little bit of a decision now with our center, okay? By rule, he would have been up for the apex defender here. Because the apex defender looks like he's coming, he's kind of in no man's land. Well, now it's a little bit of just a football decision for our center here. Do I climb up and go to the next level to a safety, that's 15 yards deep, all right? Or do I feel like this guy's going to get back involved with the play? I think he chose correctly, all right? I would have done the same thing if I'm him at this point, is I would peel back on that guy that looked like he was blitzing as opposed to going up to a safety that's still 12 yards deep. So thought it was a good football decision here by the center. Once again, the footwork by the receiver, 3 up, 2 back, ball's put on him right on the spot. He's able to get vertical right now if it looks like that's where he needs to hit it. He does. He gets straight vertical. We get a nice rip there on second down, to move the sticks. All right, I think that's it.